Greetings, APUSH folks. How you guys doing? Mr. Way here. Hope this video finds you guys in good spirits and you guys are staying safe. So you found this page right here, and we're going to kind of look at what the new DBQ looks like and what APUSH looks like after this. So hopefully you guys have clicked this video here and you've already accessed this slide. So I'll do that right now and we can get things started. First off, welcome back. It's feel like it's been forever, and really it has. It's been over a month. It's been just absolutely crazy, including spring break. So yeah, here's a remote learning and APUSH, and the two topics we're going to cover is what does this new APUSH exam look like, and what does this new DBQ rubric look like, and then two, what does the new class look like? So first off, the new exam. The new exam will be a modified DBQ. I know we did a modified DBQ earlier, and this is exactly the same thing. We're modifying it. First off, you're gonna have 5 documents instead of 7, just 5 documents, and it's gonna be 45 minutes total, down from 60. That's a change. They're also gonna have certain units or periods eligible. It's only gonna be from periods 3 to 7. So if you're looking at this, it's the French and Indian War to World War II. So you can kind of, I can't say ignore the stuff from the very beginning of the year, but they're not going to talk about early Native American civilizations. It's just going to be, or like early colonization patterns. It's just going to be the French and Indian War, which is really the kickstart of the American Revolution, all the way up to what we just covered. You could still use the other stuff for contextualization. That's fair game, honestly, depending on the prompt. So let's look at this again. The DBQ is open note, open book. You can have whatever you want there, but here's the big thing. You only got 45 minutes to read the documents and write it, so you're really under a time crunch here. And so I put this right here. More materials aren't always better. Every time you're going to take 5 minutes to look up a specific thing, it's less time you're going to have to use in writing your answer. So really, we're going to focus on the skill moving forward here. As more materials aren't always better, keep it in the background. First off, and then second thing, you should not always copy you cannot copy responses from notes. If you decide to Google something real quick and then copy that down, it's not going to work out well. College Board is a billion-dollar company, seriously, a billion-dollar company, and they promise to use a whole bunch of anti-plagiarism software. From my money, it's not worth it. It's really, really not worth it. And so use your class notes. That's going to be so much better. If you have old outlines, that's great. Use any of the other resources. That's going to be so much better. Do that. Any of the online study guide stuff. That'd be so much better. Also, it's open note and open book, but it's not open person. I really, really, really would highly suggest you to not try to collaborate with others. It's just not going to work. And let's look at the rubric. The skills are exactly the same. I'll say that again. The skills are exactly the same. This is not a big, big change. The points are more flexible and they're a little different. And I had a lot of folks who didn't feel super confident when trying to read what this new DBQ rubric looked like in your questionnaire that I sent out last week. So here we go. There's going to be contextualization, a thesis statement. You're going to have to describe the docs. All the stuff was on the exact same DBQ rubric we did before. You're going to need to use outside evidence to support the documents, and use the documents to support your argument. You're going to have to explain why the historical context, the intended audience, the purpose, and the point of view are important. And then the complexity point. But here's the big thing is I love this. The complexity point is only 1. It's only worth 1 point. It's 10% of your entire total grade versus 1/6. It's much nicer. First off, take a deep breath. Don't panic. Let's walk through this. The thesis statement is exactly the same. You're going to have to respond to the prompt with a historically defensible claim that establishes a specific line of reasoning. We've practiced that all year. We're going to do it, and you guys are great at it. Contextualization, you're getting so much better. Find a broader historical context that's relevant to the prompt and describe it. 3 to 4 to 5 sentences. You guys are good at that. So much better. Look at this right here. Of the 5 documents, you need to describe 2 of them. That's it, just to get 1 point. And I would strongly suggest you don't focus on this point. You aim for the next point, which is the support for argument. This is just purely, I don't even have an argument. I'm just describing them. You guys can do that in a heartbeat. Next up, use the documents to support your argument. If you'd use 2 of the documents to support an argument, aka this shows that yada, 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 or proving that, or this illustrates this point here. That's all you got to do is 2 to get 1 point and 4 to get 2 points. So this is kind of the same situation where they're going to give you 5 documents, use 4 of them to support an argument. I would always suggest use 5, but we'll get to the strategy later on. Next up, this is a little different. Outside evidence. It used to be just 1 piece of additional outside evidence, you get 1 point. For this, 2 pieces of additional outside evidence. The number of documents goes from 7 to 5, so it's less, and they're hoping that you guys can do 2 of these. This should be hopefully a shoe-in for you guys here. This outside evidence must not be found within the documents, and it's also within the time period. We'll go over this later on too, but outside evidence has changed. It's not 1 piece of outside evidence to get full points, but 2. And then here's the cool part is I know you guys are like frustrated with the document's historical context, intended audience, purpose, point of view. We didn't have a lot of time for that. It's really just a portion of your DBQ rubric. For 1 document, explain why the document's historical context, intended audience, purpose, or point of view is relevant. That gives you 1 point. For a second one, you successfully do that for 2 of these, that's going to give you 2 points. It's going to be just fine. It's going to be great. You guys are going to be able to do this. Moving forward, complexity, this is only 1/10 of your whole portion here. And I know a lot of you guys, especially folks who are really, really wanting to get top grades on this, were concerned about getting the complexity point. You can explain both a similarity or a difference, or a continuity and change, or multiple causes, both causes and effects. You can do that. You can also explain connections within across time periods, and you can also modify your argument. This is one where I'd really strongly say, focus on this. If you can do it, great, but don't make this the end all be all to your essay. So it's 10 points total. You can do this, it's 10 points total. We don't know, especially because this is brand new and they just rolled this out, we don't have any information on how many points we'll earn, a 3, a 4, or 5. We don't. We don't know whether you say you get 3 out of 10, you're going to get this, or 5 out of 10, or 5 out of 10, or an 8 out of 10. We don't know what that's going to be. So I can't make any predictions right now. They'll decide that way later once they read all your stuff. So understand this will be kind of curved against everyone else's responses. That could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. We'll just see how it goes. But I think this is a very manageable rubric and you guys can do this. Moving on, let's look at the next, the APUSH exam is scheduled for May 15th. That's moved back a little bit. And it's at 2 p.m. because every single APUSH person is taking it at the same time, including Hawaii. Hawaii's going to be at 8 a.m. You guys are at 2 p.m. because we're at Eastern, so everyone's going to be doing it at the same time. So you've been sleeping until noon. You're going to have 2 more hours to do this, or 2 more hours to get your head in the right frame of mind to do this. It's going to be online or theoretically at home, so find some good internet connections. Make sure you do that. If you have spotty internet, you might want to see if you can make alternate arrangements. I know that's really awkward at this time, but if you have really spotty internet, talk with me. Let's talk with the leadership team at West Michigan Aviation Academy and we'll figure something out. Only 45 minutes and we get that new 10-point rubric. So that's the end for this question about what the new test looks like and what the new DBQ rubric looks like. Make sure you ask questions. If you have questions, believe me, that's how it's going to go. Next up, what does this new APUSH class look like? We're going to cover the pre-APUSH exam versus what we're going to do afterwards, my overall review philosophy, the grading or the classwork philosophy and the grading philosophy, as well as how to best reach me at this time. First off, all the way up until the APUSH exam, these are assignments guaranteed, goodness, they're designed to set you guys up for success in the APUSH exam. Everything we're going to be doing is exam prep, so it's going to be really, really focused on document analysis. It's going to be focused on some content, but it's really going to be like the DBQ rubric. Next, they're going to do the post-APUSH exam. The goal is to kind of pick up on World War II and then move on, but I really don't know what this looks like at this moment, so we'll pick up on this afterwards. Here's my review philosophy. We only have a limited amount of time. We really have just a small amount of time here. And so for the guaranteed stuff that I'm going to make you guys do, that I'm going to give you a grade for, I can't cover all the content. We can't go all the way back to the French and Indian War and then reteach everything up until World War II. So a lot of that's going to be on you guys. You guys can do that independently. There's Khan Academy. There's AP Classroom. There's a whole bunch of great review videos. Find, something that works for you. And I would say for me, the best use of our time is to focus on a mix of both the content and skills, but a focus on skills. Because I know you guys know the content. You need to just remember you know the content and then get a refresher. But we can really focus on doing like thesis statement analysis, contextualization analysis, and really honing that skill there, as well as the rest of the DBQ, which is essentially all the skills we've been doing before. For classwork, for you guys, we're going to assume Q3 is the pre-shutdown before we left on March 12th. That's going to be the majority of the grade, 65% of your total grade. And what we're entering now is kind of Q4, which is going to be the remote learning portion. That's going to be 35% of your grade. If you are upset with your Q3 grade, you missed an outline, you got a bad grade on something, you didn't like your test score on something or essay, you can totally do missing or totally turn in missing work or do test corrections or essay revisions. I will have to say some of the questions that I use are ones that are not allowed to be shared online. So some of the security, due to APUSH security issues or College Board security issues, we're going to have alternative versions. The Chapter 20 quiz is a great example of that. We're going to do alternative ones. I'll figure it out as we go along. But if you're interested, please, please, please reach out to me. And if you get late work, it's going to be the same policy. You can turn it in all the way to the end of the semester, but the max you're going to get is 80%. It's still worth doing all those old outlines if you're one who hasn't done much of that. Moving on, as far as the remote learning, I can only do 1 hour per week of graded work. So that could be 2 half-hour lessons or 1 full-hour lessons. That's not a lot. They're trying to respect your guys' time, and I completely agree with that. This is completely different than if you guys decided to, or if you guys were able to meet with me on like a daily basis, 1 hour per day, Monday through Friday, in like a brick and mortar classroom. Totally different. So there's a lot of stuff here you guys can do. There's a lot of videos. We're going to do some SMRs. We're going to do some Google Forms, thesis statement practice, document analysis. Anything else I post is optional. I still say highly suggested, but optional. But it will not be graded. I can give you feedback, but it will not be graded. So you can have essentially right now, you can have a Monday, Tuesday lesson, office hours on Wednesday, and then a Thursday, Friday lesson. So 2 half-hour lessons per week. That gives you a lot of time to complete the rest of your 6 hours of the day, but also a lot of time for you guys to do review work. Here's office hours. My official office hours are on Wednesday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. on Zoom or Google Classroom. I'm also going to try to be available for email questions about the 30 minutes after the posted lesson time. That's going back to this right here. So meaning second hour, I'm going to try to be available from 10:30 to 11, but I also have Arthur. That's going to be really, really difficult. So overall, I'm going to jump down here. Email is the best way to reach me if you want a quick response. It's going to be the best way, especially with baby number 2 on the way in maybe a couple weeks. It's going to be the best way to go for that. We're going to do review sessions every Tuesday at 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. I've arranged it so it won't clash. It won't clash. I should really change that. Clash with AP Chemistry for a lot of you guys who are in AP Chemistry. We might add more times as we get closer to the AP exam, and basically what you guys are looking for. If you're looking for more, we can add some more, but it's all up to you guys and how much you guys want here. But to summarize, email is the best way to reach me. What do you do now? We're at the end of this video here, so you can either click on this link right here. I think there's 10 questions to kind of test your understanding of, one, the new DBQ rubric, what the new class looks like. And this is going to be the first grade in your remote learning thing, or remote learning category for Q4, which is 35% of your total grade. This is open slides, open video. Go back, use as much as you want here. You can also resubmit or edit your forms if you don't like your initial score here. And next thing I'd like you to do, join us for Zoom on Tuesday. That should be tomorrow for you guys. 2 p.m. for some APUSH review. We're going to kind of just keep it nice and loose initially because we haven't seen you guys in forever, and then move from there. And what I'd like you guys to do is finish your Chapter 22 outline. I know last week I kind of said, hey, please finish this. It will be due Sunday. Will be due Sunday at I think 11:59 p.m. So you can see that here. So click here if you'd like, or you can go back to the APUSH or the APUSH Week 1 Remote Learning, and here's the review quiz. That's due Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. And the Chapter 22 outline is due Sunday at 11:59 p.m. And then if you guys want, you can complete this and then move on to the next lesson, which is on the interwar foreign policy period in World War II, and we'll kind of move on from there. So if you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email, contact me in Google Classroom. I'll be happy to understand. I'm excited to get back to work, so hopefully you guys are too. Thanks.